Hey guys, Maria here. So it's January, and this is such a great time to get our ass in gear. So if you are in a place right now where you feel hopeless and you feel stuck and like it doesn't matter if you're here or if you're not here, I want to talk to you like you're my friend, because life can feel shitty until we do something about it. And you can definitely do something about it. The number one thing I want to start talking about is how it is now time to deprive ourselves. It's time to do a full scan, a full analysis of how our life is, and to start clearing out the debris and the stuff that is not serving us. Number one, looking at all the subscriptions that you pay for every month. If you pay for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Zulu, I don't have any of these, so I don't really know what there are. But any subscriptions that keep you hooked on shows, on streaming stuff, do you really need to have all that? And do those habits help get you closer to your goals? If not, then it's time to say cancel subscription. Because the people who are winning in that situation, that arrangement, are the people who take money from you. Okay, that's number one. Number two is to start looking at the people you're surrounded with, your friends, your family, everybody, and to start looking at them with more objective eyes. And to say, you know what, these people I can keep at a distance. Because whenever I'm around them, I don't feel good. I don't feel encouraged. I don't feel empowered. I don't feel inspired. And it's not to say that you just cut people off willy-nilly and you start just caring about yourself. But you do have to care about yourself a little bit more if you have any goals that you want to accomplish within the next few years. Okay, we just have to start clearing away and simplifying our lives in order to make room for all the new habits and the new people and the new opportunities that will get us to start actually attracting and creating the life that we truly want. And number three is that, look, if you say you're renting right now, say you're living in a basement suite or you're sharing a house or whatever, you don't want to be in that situation anymore. But you feel like it's hopeless because you look at the economy, you look at your country, you look at the government, you look at how everything has gone up and up in price. So just like point number one that I made, we have to be ruthless. We have to be utterly ruthless about how we cut things. And it's going to be painful because we do get used to a certain standard of living, right? But your goals and the things you want to accomplish and pull into your life, they require sacrifice. So I'll tell you a story about how I was able to save up enough to buy my home that I live in, right? It's not very big, but it's mine. It's mine. And I grew up with parents who had never owned anything. And we were renting and jumping from old house to old house to old house. And that's all I knew. And some of those houses had, crumbling walls, like the shower. The wall was literally falling away because it was so old. And there were wood bugs in there. And that's still a bit of a traumatic moment that I had, just from my childhood. And it's not easy. It's not easy to pull yourself from this level up to this level. But you can do it. So let me share with you what I did. So a few years after I started my business as a fitness trainer, I had quit my career before that as a technical writer, and that was my 9 to 5, and then I decided to go into entrepreneurship. So in 2014, I started my business, and then a few years into that business, I really wanted to buy my own home. And I had to save up for the down payment, and I had to essentially come up with 2 years worth of employment history employed by myself. So 2 years of solid wages to show the bank that I could make money and sustain paying a mortgage. So for 2 years, over 2 years, I did not go out at all. I saved all my money as much as I could. Instead of going out drinking, partying, you know, I was late 20s at this point. I saved literally every dime and I put it into my savings. And any other gigs that I could do, I asked the universe to deliver to me, to manifest any opportunities that I could take advantage of so I could keep stacking that savings. And the universe did answer my call. It gave me these film gigs, and the first one, it was a body double gig. The first one I did, I was able to make a few thousand from it, like 3,000 or 4,000. That went right into my bank. The next gig I got, it was for a nude body double gig, and it was 3 days long. And mind you, I had never had any aspirations about getting into film or none of that. I didn't think about that stuff at all, okay? But the universe gave it to me, and I accepted, and I made 14,000 from that one job that I said yes to. And so all these little decisions where I chose to never go out, not spend on anything, and I worked 7 days a week for the 2 years, and it was brutal. It was definitely brutal. It was so hard because my friends are going out eating here and there, all that stuff, and I chose to stay in and just keep stacking paper. But you know what? By the end of it, after the 2 years or so, I had amassed about 100,000. And to qualify for a mortgage and not pay the CMHC taxes here in Canada, you need 20% for any mortgage, right? And so that would save you about, I think, 2 to 3% in extra fees, which adds up, which is a lot, right, over the term of a mortgage. So I was able to accumulate all that and get my first home. And I didn't know the first thing about mortgages because it wasn't ever something that was taught by my family or anything like that. So I had to go and, learn all that by myself. And yes, I definitely didn't choose the best property, but it fulfilled all my requirements. It's not an old building. It has white walls. It has big windows, and it's my space. But you know what it took? It took me saying no to so much. People asking me to go out. Sorry, I can't. People asking me, eating out, me wanting to eat, of course, me wanting to go hang out with my friends and all that stuff. But you know what? The long-term goal, it trumps everything. And I'm still so proud of it because it wasn't easy, one. And two, so you can do it. Like, no matter how the economy is, you can truly do it. I'm telling you right now. And with our changes in administration, I mean, now in the US and Canada, things are happening this year for sure for us, so hopefully for the better. Regardless of all that, it doesn't matter what anything else is happening, anything else that's happening, unless you're in a war-torn country. If you're living in a developed nation, you can make it happen. Like, you truly can. It just takes some creativity. It takes some self-analysis. It takes some evaluation of all the decisions you've been making and where you're putting your time and your energy and your money and all your other resources. You can definitely do it. In line with that, we got to look at all the routines, the habits that you have. And we got to say, look, is this serving me? Say you have a weed addiction. Is that serving me? Does that make me smarter or slower? Does it make me more productive, or does it make me more complacent? How much money am I spending on that every week? Am I eating fast food? Am I paying a lot of money for garbage food that doesn't truly nourish me? And if it doesn't take me closer to my goals, then it has to go. It has to go. So we're getting rid of extra expenses over the month. We're creating distance with people who are not aligned with the values and the actions that we want to use and take. If we want to operate at a certain level, we want to create higher standards for ourselves, right? Then there are certain things that will not line up with that. And that's okay. But it just means that you have to honor what you want and truly make the hard cuts, the choices that will get you closer to this. And honestly, if you're feeling like, oh, I haven't accomplished much, I'm a loser, I feel really pathetic, I'm living in this dump, all these things, like all these weaknesses, all these flaws, all these inferior ways, these inadequate things about ourselves, for sure, yes, that's where you're at right now, but it's not where you have to stay. It's not where you have to stay. You can totally accept how things are right now for you. And with every improved choice you make, those things that you feel embarrassed by, weighed down by, use that as your power. Tell yourself that, look, this is my reality right now. Yes, this is what this is how I live right now. But that's where I'm coming from. That's not where I'm staying. I'm headed towards somewhere better. And when you're there, trust me on this, when you're there, you look back on this and you're, wow, I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself because I started off here. I didn't start with no silver spoon, being fed this and that, getting help from anybody, none of that stuff. Say if your background, if your family, you're not that well off, or say you deal with an alcoholic parent, or, your neighborhood isn't the best. Any of that stuff that would hold a person down, yeah, it can hold you down for now. But if you keep making those sacrifices, you keep making those hard choices, then you can change your future. You can change the direction of your life. You can make your life so much better. If I've done it before, you can definitely do it. It's not like it's some crazy, luck of the draw kind of thing. We create our luck. We create our luck by believing in ourselves and by honestly simplifying things for ourselves, clearing out any garbage, any dissonant people, objects, routines, habits, expenses, purchases, any of that stuff. We just start saying, you know what, that doesn't belong here. That does not belong here. That's not for my higher vision. That is not aligned with where I want to go. And that's that. And then you just keep following that. You write it down for yourself. I mean, I have a freaking notebook right here for all the thoughts I have and all the things I need myself to know. You just gotta keep putting pen to paper, putting foot to the pavement, and just keep making it happen. And every time you feel like, it's so slow, well, that's life. The process is slow. I worked every day, 7 days a week for 2 years straight to get to where I wanted to go. And it happened, right? So just deprive yourself of all the creature comforts that won't really serve you, that you don't really need. Create that distance. Be truthful with yourself, where you are right now, and be proud of it. Be proud of where you are right now. Because if you're not proud of where you are, then, oh my goodness, like, what more can you have inside of yourself if not that self-love for yourself? And last thing, get out of your own way. Whatever excuses you have, like, oh, my taxes are too high, or, oh, like none of my siblings have ever accomplished this. None of that matters. Nothing matters, because your attention is what will dictate your future. So if you choose for this to weigh you down, make you falter, slow you down, make you stop entirely, then who's won here? You haven't won, right? You got to make yourself win at life. Nobody's going to do it for you. And people like me on the internet, I'm telling you, I'm sharing this with you. I don't know you, but I want you to freaking win. We need more winners on this planet. We need people who feel like, you know what, I can achieve things, and I am achieving things. Because if we can get that vibration to rise, then the whole planet rises. Like, we all become better as a result. There's been too much misery, especially since the pandemic. And that has to start fading away back into the past. And it's time for us to take our power back and to say, you know what? Yeah, all these things have happened in the past, but I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm not going to let that stop me. And right now it's a brand new freaking year. I'm going to take advantage of it. Okay? So I'm rooting for you. Make that list of things you have to, rearrange, cut, get rid of, all that stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.